So, I was 15 years old. It was around 1 a.m. and I had my accounting exams that day, right? Obviously, I was super bored and my brain was literally dead, right? So I needed some form of rejuvenation, you know? So I opened this video on YouTube. I plugged in my earphones. I locked my room. And I started trying out these crazy dance moves, right? So I go, yeah. I go mad. I just go crazy. And then, my earphones, they planted rock solid, all right? They're not coming out, right? The music is blasting away on full volume. Then I glanced at my door, and I thought it was moving slightly. And I was like, nah, no one's at the door. So, and just when I got comfortable, I looked again, and someone was actually pushing the door. I freak out for a second. And then, all of a sudden, this piece of paper was whooshed past underneath my door. And guess what? It was a letter from Hogwarts. No. It was no letter from Hogwarts. The owl, it never showed up. You know what the piece of paper said? Any guesses? It was my mom, right? So I opened the door and I saw my mom. She's standing there, very sleepy, very pretty, standing in all her glory to yell at me, right? You guys remember the movie Troy? Troy, have you seen Troy? Yeah? Remember how Achilles is standing outside the walls of Troy? And he's shouting, Hector! Hector! Okay, so the scene was somewhat similar, except my mom didn't kill me, I'm still alive, all right? Almost same, right? So I open the door, my mom's standing there, and she's like, stop dancing, because I can't sleep. You need to study now, or sleep, not dance. I'm like, sorry, mom, I'll study. So she went back to sleep. So then I tiptoed into my brother's room, vacant room, and I started dancing again. It's all good, right? My mom slept well, I danced. If you guys are thinking how my exam went, well, I moonwalked out of the exam hall faster than I walked in because I didn't study anything. Anyways, let me tell you something about myself. My name is Rajeev. I work for Google in Dublin. So Dublin is the Europe headquarters for Google. And outside of Google, I teach dancing in an institute called Dance Theatre of Ireland. So am I happy at Google? Yes, of course. Am I happy with what I'm doing outside of Google? Hell yes. Of course I'm happy, right? So I've always been passionate about dancing and acting. At the age of 15, I got this opportunity to quit school and studies completely and pursue acting in a mainstream sitcom series back in India. But my parents insisted that, it's too risky. You have to cement your academic background and then risk it. And the media industry, Bollywood, is so huge in India that it's extremely uncertain. So I didn't risk it, right? I also got a lot of offers from dancing institutes in India to join as an instructor. But again, not something I could pursue, right? Now, tell me something, guys. I'm sure you guys relate to me, right? Have you ever had that feeling where you're, floating along the river of life, right? You're just floating. You take the paddle, and you want to paddle, and you see some path that is unexplored. You want to go into that unexplored waters. Why? Because you know that waters lead to your passion, right? But then, there is something that's pulling you back. Let me give you an example. One day you want to just grab your backpack, take your DSLR, roam around the world and click a lot of pictures, right? Next day you want to get your guitar and play some terrible music, wake up the neighbors, but you're still happy because you're singing in front of a lot of people because that's what you like, right? But there's something that's always pulling you back. What is that something? The something is called pragmatism. You being pragmatic. Right? And what happens here? What is exactly happening here? It's a war. It's a war between passion and pragmatism. That's the First World War, right? And what happens? 8 out of 10 times, pragmatism wins. You end up being pragmatic more than being passionate, right? And just when you thought that this is the end of the wars, no, the second war is coming up. The Second World War. Passion and paycheck. Paycheck is taking on passion one-on-one. And who wins here? Paycheck. Paycheck wins your whole life. This war just goes on till the end of your life, right? That's what happens. First World War, Second World War. Now, we've all heard the platitude, people saying, follow your passion, boys. Follow your passion. No, but is that really the best advice? Maybe if you have a really good corporate job, extremely well-paying corporate job, or you graduate from an amazing business school, can you choose between passion and paycheck? Can you actually do that? Right? At the same time, it's funny because you'll find a lot of people advocating against following your passions blindly. I'll tell you an example. Mike Rowe, a famous American TV model, he said this: just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean you won't suck at it. Right? That's true. Yeah. They're like, yeah. No. And just because you're determined to improve doesn't mean that you will. Does that mean you shouldn't pursue a thing you're passionate about? Of course not. The question is, for how long and to what end? When you cannot find work that you're passionate about, ensure that you bring your passion with you to work. Confused? We talked about the First World War, the Second World War, and then there are people talking not to follow your passions. Don't worry, I'm here to help. I'm going to break this down for you into the 3P box. I couldn't get more creative than 3P. You already have so many P's in marketing, right? Sorry about that. But the 3P box, it's basic box that divides where you can be, maybe, yeah? So, let's look at each of the boxes. The first box, pure passion. If you are passionate about singing, then you are a full-time singer, period, right? This is the box that people want to be in. They dream about it, like literally dream about it, but don't go there, right? Second box, passion at work and passion outside of work. I'm going to go back to what Mike Rowe said. When you cannot find work that you're passionate about, ensure that you bring your passion with you to work. I am in this box right now, and I'm happy. You saw the old guy, right? I'm there. Yeah? Paycheck. Your favorite boxes? No? Yes? No. This is the box you do not want to be in. Not at all. You'll end up looking like these people. You don't want to be like them, right? So, I'll give you a quick figure. CNBC conducted a global survey last year, and a staggering 48% of people were unhappy with their job. 48%. Now, if you look at the bigger picture, that's almost half the world's population, right? They're all stuck. They're all stuck in that box. And what is holding them back is just the paycheck that's holding them back, right? Now, let's be honest. I started off with the third box. A lot of people do, right? And then they moved boxes. I've moved to the second box, right? And it's tough to move to the first box as well. So you might think, okay, when do you know it's the right time to move to the first box? When can I take that leap of faith? I'll give you 3 simple questions that you need to answer to kind of figure out that question, okay? How much and to what extent do you love your passion? What do you bring to the table that no one else does? And what would you love to contribute to the world through your passion? Okay? Now, what I'm telling you is, take a thought through and calculated risk, a logical decision when you're thinking of these questions. If you're not ready, probably don't risk it. It's too risky to kind of take that leap of faith, right? Then you probably try to move from the third to the second box and not the first, right? Now, you might wonder, okay, I don't know what job to look for where I can find passion at work and outside work. Trust me, there are millions of companies and jobs out there. Probably you haven't searched hard enough. So just search more. You will find something. Okay? I'm gonna leave you guys with a few thoughts. When you're sick of work and you just want to let loose, going to the bar and getting drunk is not the only option. There are a lot of other options, right? If you can find time, pursue your passion. You don't have to write your short story or your novel in 1 week. You don't have to perfect your chicken soup in 2 weeks. No, take your time. You and your passion, you are a work in progress. It's never a finished product, right? It is a project that is work in progress, and as soon as you realize that, you'll actually enjoy working on your project, okay? Now, let's assume 20 years down the line, or 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. You have a baby, a cute little baby in your hand. You're holding the baby. You have your friend standing right in front of you. You'll be like, I've always wanted to become a singer, but I could never be one. It was my dream. I couldn't make my dream a reality. My daughter, she will make my dream a reality. No, not cool. That is not fair. Let your kids dream for themselves and let your kids follow their passions, and you should be doing the same thing. Last but not the least, please, please, please ensure you're not stuck in the paycheck box. I am daring you guys to not get stuck here and follow at least box number 1 or 2. Thank you.